we've gone through the entire regular season for the Big 12. All the main opponents that they will play in Norman and on the road. From Houston at the beginning of the year to the end of the year at home against Oklahoma State. We've previewed them all. The only one we haven't previewed ourselves, the University of Oklahoma, trying to get back to the college football playoff for back-to-back years. It'll be kind of difficult this year. Usually, when you have high expectations like this, particularly as Sooner fans, we know there's always been a pitfall in the road. Quarterback issue. We all remember the game in 07, I believe, with Sam Bradford going down in Lubbock. To the 08 year against Texas. Need we go on? Missouri with in 2010. But then this year it very well could be on the field. There's that issue. Wide receiver. But there's a transfer coming in from Penn State that's ready to help take care of that issue. Find out what I mean, and more next. Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name's Harry James, and we will now preview the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, before we preview the teams, let's let you know this. Next year at this time, we will be probably be doing another Oklahoma preview, but we very well could be doing a preview because keep on doing previews because it could be split north and south again, or I-35 and east of north and south, respectively, something like that. Because there are talks now. A lot of it had gone away, but now it's back into the talks. And the president of the Big 12 and our very own president, David Boren, will meet after the Tuesday sessions in Dallas. And they will meet about possible expansion. Talks will happen. Now, I hope that that's what will happen, because there will be a championship game played next year, and you don't want that to be OU and OSU for a second time, unless it has to be, or Oklahoma and Baylor again for a second time, unless it has to be. But with that being said, let's preview this year's version of Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Sooners, 11-2 last year, 8-1 in league play. We all remember the one. It was Texas. First place, an outright champion though of the Big 12 Conference. Their bowl game last year was the Orange. We all remember that one, where they had the rematch against Clemson. A Clemson team that won the ACC Atlantic title, and then came in to their version of the championship game and took care of North Carolina 45-37. En route to beating Oklahoma and then losing to Alabama in the title game. Clemson went 14-1, 8-0 in league play, not including the North Carolina championship game. Oklahoma, they lost 37-17 in that title game. Or in the Orange Bowl did Oklahoma, 37-17. Their head coach is Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops, in his 18th season at Oklahoma, 1999 to present. That is, at the end of this one, though, that will be the most tenured coach at Oklahoma. Above Wilkinson, The only other one, remember 22 years for way back in the day with that. But he will be the second longest tenured Sooner. This is 8th coach, that is. This being his 18th year. Helping him finish his 18th year, of course. Returning starters, of course, we all remember Baker. He ain't got no haters this year. In fact, he's getting mad love this year. Heisman talk and much more. And so he deserves it. Last year, passing for 3,700 yards, 36 touches, and 7 INTs. But, you know, you got to have some balance with Baker, right? Well, you do. Almost 2,000 yards on the ground combined. Now, combined did number 32, Samaje Perine, and number 25, Joe Mixon. Starting with number 32, Samaje Perine. Perine had 226 opportunities last year on carries to match 1,349 yards on the ground and 16 touchdowns. The other 600 or so yards on the ground that needed to be done for the 2,000. Well, a lot of that belongs to number 25, Joe Mixon, who had $113 carries last year, 753 yards, and 7 touchdowns last year as a redshirt freshman. Now, also in on this class is a guy that we're all going to miss. He's now going to be playing at Missouri, Alex Ross. Number 28, Alex Ross. Spent 4 years here at Oklahoma. We all remember the kick return that he had against West Virginia that completely changed that game 2 years ago. So there is that going on there. Good luck to him. By the way, another transfer. Trevor Knight, quarterback transfer from Oklahoma, transferring to Texas A&M. Good luck to you too, big guy. Keep them, just beat Alabama, and we'll be happy here. But what about the current Sooners? Current Sooners, you got to have some help if you're going to pass for 3,000 yards again, Baker. And you'll get some help. Not a lot of help, but you'll get some help. In fact, 0 returners received 1,000 yards. The closest last year on the team, number 11, D.D. Westbrook. 46 catches last year to go with 743 yards, 4 touchdowns for the senior, going into his senior year. Speaking of going into your senior year, also is number 5, Geno Lewis. Now, last year at Penn State, he had 18 receptions go with 234 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, as a career, has 1,000 yards receiving, has a couple of, had a huge breakouts. This will be his senior year. Last year was a sophomore campaign with 50 catches, I think, and a couple of thousand, pretty close to 1,000 yards there. So, he's capable of that. Plus, with the high octane stuff that we're going to get to play at Oklahoma, you would expect him to get to that. Of course, also coming in fairly close to the 18 carries is a guy that's forgotten about. And you can't forget about him. He's kind of a big guy to forget about. That would be Mark Andrews. He's a big kid out of Arizona, and he can play well too. Yeah, I expect him to make plays. But you know what? Enough about all that offensive stuff. We all know what Mike and Bob love. Defense. And they handle themselves on defense. And they hold themselves strong on that defense. And they're going to have some defensive players to play with. Now, a lot of them have left the team, graduated, shockingly did Dominic Alexander, but his linebacking mate, number 26, Jordan Evans, didn't. He'll enjoy his senior year at Oklahoma. He had 83 tackles last year. He did have a forced fumble and a recovered fumble, and then of course the 0 interceptions last year for the Sooners. We all remember the fumble recovery that he had against West Virginia, beating the Mountaineers to the end zone in Norman last year. He'll return, as will number 13 defensive back Ahmad Thomas, 75 tackles last year, 0 forced and 0 recovered fumbles, but did have 3 interceptions last year for Oklahoma. Of course, their head man is Bob Stoops. He's the leader of the pack when you talk about seniority here at Oklahoma, seniority in the Big 12, seniority in the nation. Now that Frank Beamer's gone, he's tied with his Iowa mate, Kirk Ferentz, Captain Kirk, at Iowa, with 18 years, all at the same university. And that is all at Oklahoma. That's his coaching history. 1999 to present, all Oklahoma, all the time. Coaching staff wins at Oklahoma go with 179 to just 46 losses. That is actually a 7.96 winning percentage. 8-8 in his bowl attempts. That's a 500 record. Divisional titles at Oklahoma, 7 divisional titles, 8 outright conference titles. Now, the 7 divisional titles include 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2006, 2008, and 2010. The outright Big 12 champions, they got the rings, they have all the diamonds, all the rings for it, 2000, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008, 2010. Tied with Kansas State in 2012. And of course, last year, 2015, got the outright title and an invite back to the Bowl, to the major bowl system in the Orange Bowl. So that'll do it for all the football previews. I'll do a basketball preview next week. Look forward to that one. The Sooners have a couple SEC teams on their schedule in basketball. We'll go over that next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Guys, we're getting closer to kickoff. We're getting closer to that. We're getting close. Month and a half away, boys and girls. Really looking forward to this. Should be a fun year, I hope. Always remember, my name is Harry James Taylor. You can find me on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or tweet me at Sooner_fan_OK. Thanks for watching, everybody, and Boomer Sooner. See y'all on the flip side. I'm out of here.